Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's morning personal development lesson. As you can see from the title, we are talking about goals again. Why? Because goals are important. We're at the beginning of the month, but I wanted to talk differently about goals. So we know that we need to set goals, and we're at the middle of the year now. We just finished second quarter, so we've got 6 months left to go. Have you created a goal for this month and for the rest of the year? Have you looked back over the last 6 months and done an audit to see how you did on the goals that you set so far this year? These are two important things that you need to do. One, review what you did in the first 2 quarters to see if you were on target for your overall year goal. And two, to make sure that if you need to, you can adjust. So, what I want to talk to you about today with goals is resiliency in your goal setting. See, a lot of the times we just talk about setting the goal and it's this pie in the sky thing. We put dream boards out there, we put all these things that we want out there, and then we go to work. But we're missing a key step. Have you asked yourself, what are you willing to give up to reach that goal? Have you taken the time to count the cost of what it's going to take? Or are you just setting a goal thinking that, okay, if I set the goal out there and I do the work, I'm going to get there? Have you thought about what roadblocks are going to come up? What we say about leaders and successful people is not only do they set the goals, they count the cost, they know and they anticipate that something is going to happen. There is going to be a roadblock. You are going on to create a greater life. Are you thinking it's going to be easy? We say this quite a bit. It's simple, but it's not easy. If you can listen, learn, and apply, you can do this business. You can do any business. But the question is are you going to be resilient when you get knocked down? Have you thought about getting knocked down this month? What are the things that would get in your way of achieving your goal this month? Have you written that down? Have you done an inventory on that? What are the things that could derail you? What are the things that could distract you? Those are the things that you need to think about today in order to be an overcomer, because you know that you can overcome things when you're prepared for them. When you're not prepared for them, that is when things kind of go crazy and go haywire and you have life happening to you instead of you happening to your life. Everything comes at a cost. Everything good or bad comes at a cost. Do you know what that cost is? What I'm asking you to do right now is to negotiate those things up front at the beginning of your month. When you discover what those things are, what the things are that you are going to come across that could hinder you, that could make you go off course from your goal, have you negotiated up front that you are willing to pay that price? See, if you do it in the moment, what'll end up happening is you will believe that it is too big for you to overcome and you may just give up on it. Where if you negotiate up front that you're not going to give up on the things that you're working towards when things that are hard come along, you will overcome them because you already mentally prepared yourself. See, the things that are happening to you when you think about them up front, you can categorize them as happening for you. So you are thinking that this incident that takes place that could derail you is actually preparing you and making you stronger for getting through what it is you need to do. So, what I want you to do is make sure that you are taking some time looking at your goal, looking at the things that could derail you, seeing what it's going to cost you, and then negotiate it up front. The other thing you really need to get good at doing is asking yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to get this thing done? Now, any great thing in life, and I'm saying great thing, comes with a sacrifice. You have to be willing to give something up in order to get something better. That's like the picture of the little girl with the little bear holding it, and the dad is asking for it, but he's got a bigger bear hidden behind his back that he's going to give her in exchange. That is how greatness happens in your life. You are going to have to make a sacrifice. You are going to have to give up something in order to have that next level you, that next level life, that next level world for you and your family. I know we talk about this quite a bit. What are your non negotiables? You write them down in your calendar, the things that you are not willing to give up every single month. You write those in your calendar. But here is what I'm going to submit to you. What one or two of those non negotiable things are you willing to sacrifice to reach greatness? Because on the other side of greatness is a whole lot of freedom to where your non negotiables now become part of your life because you don't have to negotiate your time for them. What I'm asking you to do is to make small sacrifices up front in your time so that you can have freedom to do the things that you want to do the rest of your life. You know, Stephanie and I had lots of sacrifices, lots of things that we gave up on the front end of building our business because we knew that once we got through those things, it would open up a world of opportunity and a world of possibilities that we could live a life that others only dream of. You know, Ed Milet talks about it like an airplane taking off. In the beginning, it takes a lot to get that plane off the ground. Lots of power, lots of energy, lots of action. But once it gets to cruising speed, it only takes a little bit and small adjustments to keep it going. And what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to think that you've hit cruising and altitude speed when you're still actually climbing. So today, understand you are in a climbing mode at the beginning of your month. Your month, the way that you set it up, the things that you tell yourself, the things that you negotiate, the things that you renegotiate and say that you're going to sacrifice to accomplish your goals and dreams. If you could give up 2 or 3 of your non negotiables this month to not have to give them up for the rest of the month, would you be willing to do that? Let me say that again. If you had to give up some of your non negotiables this month so that you didn't have to give them up the rest of the year, would you do that? Would it be worth it to you? So let's go back to your goals from the beginning. Are your goals big enough that they require a sacrifice? See, anything worth doing has to have a sacrifice. But big things, monumental things, your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal is going to require you to give something up. So, are your goals requiring you to make a sacrifice? If not, then maybe they aren't big enough. Maybe they aren't stretching you enough. So, to recap, we're talking about resiliency and goal setting, knowing that something's going to happen on the way to reaching your goal. So, what are you willing to give up to reach it? Are you willing to pay the price to reach your goal? Have you negotiated reaching your goal yet already? Have you thought about what you're willing to sacrifice in order to reach that goal? The thing is if it's negotiable, you'll probably end up doing it. So if you negotiate it up front, you are more likely to overcome an obstacle when it comes your way. Now, this is something that I want you to think about for the rest of this month. Is my goal big enough to stretch me to go after it and have to give something up in order to do it? When you take a look at it, is it causing you to become a greater and better person? Not only that, is it going to make people around you bigger and better because you stretched yourself? You set big enough goals that you had to make sacrifices to accomplish them. Because what is going to happen when you get there, when you hit that goal? You are going to have a much better feeling of satisfaction, of accomplishment, of purpose, because you went through the hard things. If you go through the things and it's not hard and you get to the end, is it really worthwhile? Because you're going to get to the end and go, well, that was easy. I didn't have to overcome anything. I didn't grow. I didn't change. Maybe I didn't set a big enough goal. Stephanie and I do that all the time. We take a look at our goals and go, were they big enough? If we hit them easily, if we hit them halfway through the month, man, we know that we didn't hit and set a big enough goal. So, guys, today, beginning of the month, set your goal. Determine what you're willing to sacrifice to reach it. Make it a big, hairy, audacious goal for this month and go out and do incredible things this month, guys. Go out and make it an amazing day. I hope your day is as awesome as you are.